What's up, guys? Most welcome to the space. Um, yes, it's been some time without us having these spaces, but first and foremost, if you're new here, please just help me share this conversation on your timeline so we can have more people joining the insider. What's up, bro? What's up, bro? Okay, first and foremost, I'm gonna invite you, the insider, because I've been always following your conversations, and definitely we would love to also get you speak on some, little bit of basics on the discipline and how to get started as a beginner, into forex trading. And definitely, so because of that, I'm going to invite you to be a speaker so we can have a conversation on this. So, yes, I've just launched this conversation here. We've had so many series in the past. We had our plans of starting the practical classes that we're supposed to do over some few weeks back, but we had a challenge. The person that I was supposed to be doing the practical classes with actually got some bit of issues here and there, and for some reason we've not been able to get the classes started. But of course, we need to keep the conversation going. So one of the reasons we've not been able to start those practical classes is because we did not get to a point where both of us were actually able to start that, and what my colleague did not actually was not able to be part of that. So I know definitely maybe he's been doing some bit of things, dealing with life and dealing with so many maybe other issues going on. But of course, at the end of the day, the market is here for us. The market has been around for a very long time. The market will outlive us. So we just need to get ourselves ready and be part of the current market. And of course, prepare those that want to learn also to be part of the market in the near future. So the insider, my friend, how you doing? Hey,
I'm fine. I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, fantastic to have you here. And I'm also very happy for the conversations that you guys have been doing in the past 2 weeks. Very insightful. It feels very good to actually know there is a community out there that can nurture, the community of traders and keep learning openly without this bias of like, hey, you haven't paid or you haven't done anything. You guys give us top insights. So thank you very much. So for the guys that are joining us here, today, I just want us to talk about the trading the market, of course, for beginners, and also learning the discipline. So one of the biggest challenges for people that are starting out to trade the market is the discipline to actually stay true to the plan. But also, it sometimes happens that as you starting to trade, you hardly have any actionable plan. Like you just don't have things that can make you committed to doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now, if you have started as an individual and you've done the market by yourself, you're teaching yourself on the internet, it's most likely that you're going to make many mistakes which you could have avoided. And this is something that I discovered also along the way as I was getting started. Now, one of the things that many people never tell you is that when you learn from people that have been doing trading the market for some time, there is a huge leverage that you have over people that do teach themselves. Teaching yourself is a very important step to get started, but also making sure that you move out and reach out to people that can actually support you into this new dream, into this new journey that you're starting is something very fundamental. And I'll tell you why. Many times, many of us who are starting in the market, we end up, because we know that YouTube has a lot of people that do give information, so we end up watching a lot of videos. Sometimes we can't even discern which videos we should be watching or which authors we should be reading from. And in sometimes we end up actually mixing up things and making many mistakes. For example, I'll tell you that as a beginner, you actually don't have to force trades to happen. And you should never have your goal to as to make too much money out of very little capital. Now, many of us do not actually know that. And even when we're starting, given the status of our financials and stuff like that, but I'm so sure many of us start with $100 or even below $100, $50, $40. And you want to make another $100 out of the $100 that you've started with. But in the first place, you new to the market and you actually gamble with the trades because you want to make a lot of money. Now, you will never control that edge. You will never know that all that you're doing, the grade you have, is actually discipline that must be checked. If you have taught yourself, sometimes it's not easy to deal with the psychology of how the market treats you after you've taken certain steps and certain decisions. So it becomes very important to belong to a community. And that's why I say, if you guys were joining the conversation now, there is somebody in the speakers section. If you guys can, please go ahead and follow him. You'll always be able to see when they actually having conversations in the community. And this is very instrumental. I'll tell you, it's actually not about how much capital you start with. It's about how much discipline you have to stick to the guidelines that can help you build your trading career or your trading journey. And definitely when it gets to some point, capital just keeps accumulating. But I'll tell you the truth, even if you had 10K onto your account, how many people do blow up the demo accounts and they actually have 50K, they have 20K, and they blow it up? So that shows you that you can actually blow up 10K dollars in actually your real account, which you're using to trade. So the discipline is what is very fundamental here. And because of course when it comes to the discipline for beginners, I'll be asking the insider to also give us a bit of insights, how we should be doing this. But first and foremost, I have heard so many people come to me saying, hey, how do we get started? How does one actually make Forex trading a career? How does one start taking part into this opportunity? Let me tell you, the thing is, many people that have been trading the market in many different parts of the world, depending where you're staying, have different perception towards Forex trading. Now, in many parts of the world, Forex trading was mixed up with network marketing and multi-level marketing and all these affiliate programs and many other ways people have been making money on the internet. Now, many people got also on board without knowing exactly what they were signing up for. So many would be told, hey, you're going to get money, you're going to do exchanges, yet they're actually signing them up for multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing or network marketing. And a lot of people developed sentiments, especially in this part of the world where we are, East Africa. A lot of people lost money. A lot of people developed sentiments like, hey, the Forex market is a scam. Trading online is a scam and all that kind of stuff. So it got so hard for people that are already trading and doing something for themselves to come out openly and say, hey, look here, there is an opportunity that you can learn, teach your family, teach your friends, and teach everybody around you, because this is a skill that you learn and it will last a lifetime. Okay, so until this year, we decided with my friend who has not been able to join us today. We decided that, hey, let's talk about these opportunities openly. It's time the youth and the people around the world and the people around us got to know that there is an opportunity they can be part of. First and foremost, for those of you that have not had an introduction to Forex trading, I can tell you the financial markets are part of the biggest biggest businesses and biggest ventures that have the highest rate of transactions across the world. So it is not by mistake that Wall Street has been around for quite a long time. And this is just for your psychology to know, because if you think that trading forex on the internet is actually a scam, how come you can go to the forex bureaus and you trade forex? How comes you take your dollars to the airport and exchange currencies? That same activity you're doing is actually something that the whole world is doing elsewhere. So until you tell me that maybe exchanging a dollar to a Ugandan shilling is a scam, then I'll believe you that forex markets are scams. But the individuals that actually lure many uneducated people into this market is where the problem starts from. So because of that, we need to be able to break these sentiments. And do not be lied to, guys. When the market is bigger, the opportunities are better for us. The bigger the community, the better we get. The better money we make, the better choices we make, the better we support the people around us, and the better we make our communities. So imagine a scenario where you have 100 traders that are coming from Kampala, and then you all can be able to take this opportunity to the next level and create an opportunity for many people who otherwise would not have that opportunity. So on that front, I'm going to ask my friend, the insider here, to just give us some insights as a beginner. What are some of the discipline checkpoints that we need to have? What are those things that, if you want to succeed, if you want to trade the market in a proper way and in a long-term strategy to make money that is long term, not just jump around and maybe you want to flip accounts and stuff like that. What are some of those things that we should be able to watch out for, and also we should be able to instill in ourselves as we get into the market?
Okay, thank you very much. First off, I want to start with discipline. A lot of traders don't. Let me just apologize. I'm in the kitchen, so I'm kind of cooking and all that. But I'll be very, very brief so I can allow you speak, and then maybe when I'm done with everything, I can come back and then. But I'll just give some few points. Okay. Hi, Collins. What's up? And Yusuf. Oh, good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. First off, I want to start by saying, as a beginner, the first mistake a beginner comes with, the knowledge that they come with is that, oh, I am going to make millions on the first year. And that's a very, very wrong idea. Come to Forex with the mindset that, oh, I'm starting up a business and there are going to be ups and downs. I need capital. First off, I need knowledge, the right knowledge to start the Forex market, to understand. And where people need to focus on more, the knowledge aspect, is the psychology, because this business doesn't just deal with your day-to-day, oh, your transaction, oh, I bought this, my customer got this and I made profit, and this, so on and so forth. But this involves your mind. It has to do with your mind. I don't know why I don't know why it's that way, but that's the way it is. So a lot of traders, why they lose and why they get engulfed by failure, is because they have not understood their minds, how their minds work. Because, so, like, our mind, like, I'm more of a Bible kind of person. So the Bible says the mind is a battleground, and there is good and there is bad going on there. So you have to understand yourself. You have to be able to calm your mind as a trader. As a trader, you have to understand the psychological aspect of trading. And for the newcomers and the new traders, you could go to my page. I pinned video by Mark Douglas, a psychological aspect of trading. That would be the first advice I would take, that you should take note of it. Then I want you to follow this trader, ICT. I am the ICT. I think that's his name. That's my mentor. That's the person I'm learning to trade. That's the concept I trade. I trade smart money concept, and I want you to also take note of that trader, because you will learn a lot. And having the psychological aspect of trading and the technical aspect will really, 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 really do a good job for most traders. So the thing is, as a trader, the mistake I made, I was first looking for the technical knowledge of trade. I did never considered the psychological aspect. But once I got the technical, I now realized that, oh, it's not just about it's not just about the technical aspect, but the psychological aspect. So, as a trader, you need to understand your psychology. You need to be very, very good at mastering yourself. Once you've mastered yourself, you know when to say no. You know when to close your system and accept your loss. Like today, like I don't know the traders who were in this market today, as in the market was really messed up. It was playing around. There are people where out entries, and there are people where the market really frustrated them. Like I was part of the people that the market frustrated, but I took some entries and took some losses, and then just that was actually trading losses and just went my way. So the thing is, as a trader, you need to understand yourself. So I'll stop here for the moment, Mr. Yugaman. I'll hand over to you.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, the insider. We wish you good cooking and yeah, after your meal. Yeah. So yes, I can see brother Yusuf is also actually on call, and so many other people. Now, the insider just talked about something that is very, very, very fundamental. Now, you see, sometimes when you teach yourself how to trade, one of the hardest things is to know how you're gonna place the check marks. You guys, like it's everybody makes these mistakes when you're starting. It's a very huge, level of discipline for you to be able to position check marks for yourself. So one of the reasons I say that we sometimes need to belong to a community. See, the people that learn trading in the early days set a precedent which I think is very, very scaring for this kind of venture, for anyone to take it up, to say that 90% of traders do fail. That's a huge level of numbers that do fail. If you go by the statistics everybody mentions when you get started in this industry, but also to the fact it's the good things in life are not the easiest things. And one of the reasons I have actually gotten to accept this is many people that wanted to rush and skip levels in forex trading ended up making up money and blowing up lots of their assets in terms of selling them and wanting to get money to trade, and then they hated the market, cast the market, and left. Now, the few that do endure the learning process, those are the few that win. Now, 10% of people being to be successful in this venture shows you how much it requires of one to be able to learn and one to be able to be dedicated. I'll tell you this. If the market. I have lots of courses. I have read lots of courses. I have never had a fantastic time treating myself to the right discipline like about 4 weeks ago when I started listening to, these guys speaking ICT, Yusuf, and all of you guys insights. Let me tell you, the level of discipline that you have instilled in some of us that have done many courses where you paid $100, you paid, $50 to be able to trade, to learn how to draw the trend lines and all that kind of stuff. We did all that, but we lacked this inside treatment of psychology where you can make a decision and you're actually making the right decision, but also the pressure that comes with wanting to make money. And I'll tell you, many times this is what happens when you're learning how to trade. You actually have a small account and it is known, but the pressure that comes with that small account wanting to double it or even triple the amount on the account in one day is a very, very, very huge problem. And then also, secondly, because we don't have any insights, we end up becoming victims to, some brokers who maybe sometimes we don't have any benchmarks on which broker to use. And also, we don't have the discipline to know that sometimes the more trades you place, actually it becomes expensive on your end because every trade is charged a commission. Now, many starters, many beginners do face that challenge where you end up positioning so many trades in a day. I'll tell you for a fact, the insider Yusuf and all the guys listening in, I'll tell you for a fact, the first time I opened up my account on my first broker, I positioned so many trades. And I had the confidence because I had read a lot and I had done about two courses from different individuals. And I thought I was a pro at it. So I just kept on doing the thing. When I go into -1, -2, I close the trade, open a new one. It goes into -3. I close it, I open a new one. And I had no serious discipline to know that even positioning my trades required me to have a bit of discipline and psychological thinking and some bit of logic that it is not luck, it's actually work that must be put in. So one of the things that I know fails a lot of people is the discipline. And believe me, when you have just started, you always have the urge to keep adding money into the account because you think you're gonna revenge the market. You think you're gonna revenge you have lost $100, so you think if you put $100 more, you're gonna revenge the market and make $300 because you want to take the opposite of the trades that you have done in the beginning that have gone wrong. And when by the time you do that, the market has changed direction. But because you actually thinking only about revenging, you actually have no interest at all to understand where the market is moving, to understand the price action at the given moment, to understand even the market you're trading. Many people do trade Forex, but they don't know if it's a London session, if it's the Asian session, or if it's the New York session. So these are some of the basics that we must be. Let me tell you, the easiest part in Forex trading is actually technical analysis. And that is the biggest trap as well. Now, when many people do learn that, hey, I can draw a trend line here, draw a fixed here, draw, know where the market is moving, so I can know the point of confluence, I kill zone and all that kind of stuff. You feel like, oh, you're now ready to trade the market. You actually forget that there is much more to actually what you have done. And also sometimes because of the background you have, you think you have drawn the right trend lines, and maybe sometimes you've done it the wrong way and you end up blowing your money. Now, this becomes the biggest hurdle for so many people to cross. And I'll tell you something. The people that have taught themselves how to trade have struggled the most. And until those that were able to find a mentor got onto the better side. Those that have not found mentors even sometimes trade for 5 years and they are consistently making losses. The only conviction they have is because they watch other people say trading is profitable. So they keep hoping that the future will be better, but they forget that because they are self taught, it becomes very, very, very hard for you to actually place the checkpoints for yourself as an individual. And that is one of the biggest assets that any trader can ever have. So I had wanted to invite Brother Yusuf, if possible, you could request for the mic. I know with the lots of insights that you keep sharing, like there is so much that I have been learning over maybe a month plus, all the posts that you guys keep doing. I just wanted you to request for the mic and maybe talk to us about the discipline of beginners in the market, because I think this is where the biggest intrinsic value for any trader is the discipline and the psychology as you're starting out in the market, and also to have the sentiment that the market is not all rosy. There are lots of people in the beginning
Sorry.
stage.
I want to say something. Yusuf just texted me. He said he's a bit busy. I think he's a bit busy.
Okay,
So
cool.
why
Okay,
so why
cool.
not bring up Lone Wolf? I think he's Lone Wolf. I'm sure you're
Oh
familiar with
yeah,
him.
yeah. Okay. Actually, I thought he had left. Yes, I've seen him here. Let me actually invite him. Okay, cool. I've sent him an invite. Fantastic. Um, Yeah, so one of the reasons I would really love everybody that is in the market to get this point right is, man, a lot of messes do happen. The moment you start getting tensed up, you start to make wrong decisions, you start to think you're doing things wrong, you get under too much pressure that you even feel uncomfortable to position a trade. When you lose, you want sometimes to go and challenge the market. You want to revenge against the market. Now, if you have taught yourself to how to trade and you don't have a community that you belong to, it's going to be so hard for you to get that discipline to know that this is where I'm supposed to stop. And believe me, the saying that if you don't make losses, you'll never lose your money is really, really very important. And adding $1 to money that you have is much better than wanting to add $100 and then you lose the $100 that you had. So this discipline is something that we really need to get right from the word go. You'll never. But there's something I always love to use when I'm talking to some of my friends in our small groups. There is no right way of doing the wrong thing. It doesn't exist. There's no right way of doing the wrong thing. No matter how much you want to sugarcoat it, no matter how much you want to convince yourself that, hey, for me, this is the strategy that I think will work for me. The strategy that must work is a strategy that works in the market. So this of conviction where you place market orders, you have no stop loss, you just don't have the take profit, you don't have anything like that. You leave and you keep positioning yourself in that line. It becomes a very, very huge risk for you to run. And of course, that also brings us to another point that many of us sometimes forget. So the thing is, as you get started, you gonna have a lot of things that are gonna happen. And at some point, you actually may find yourself that maybe you got into the markets and you are not ready to start the markets, or you don't even have enough time to learn what the markets are doing. Because if you're going to trade the markets, then you should be able to have enough time to study what the markets, the behavior, and what the market is doing at the time. Now, for those of you that do not have time, it's very hard to just open your phone and you want to position your trades and you think you are doing the right thing. You just need to have enough time to analyze the market. This is one of the common mistakes that we beginners do make. You open your phone because you have the app on the phone, you position the trades on the phone, you have done no analysis, or sometimes we copy trades, we copy signals, that's another deadly, 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 deadly habit, guys. Deadly habit. I want to tell you guys that if you want to understand even what signals mean and you can be able to use them on the real time, because there's a lot of factors that affect that data that people send to you as signals. Timing is very, very key. The time when you enter your trade and everything. So many of you do get the signal 30 minutes late, or even sometimes 12 minutes late because of your network, and you start positioning the trade. And when you position the trade, it's all going in red. As beginners, we need to avoid these traps. This is what happens when you teach yourself by watching YouTube channels that sometimes are not recommended, maybe by people that you know are already doing trading. Sometimes you're going to find people marketing their channels actually just to make money out of you. There are not so many people that do care to actually show you the right materials that you should be using. So I want to I just want to give you an insight as beginners, as people that are starting to learn what the market is doing, as people that are starting to invest your money, your hard-earned money into the market. I want to tell you that one of the biggest diseases is actually thinking that you want to make money from signals that come from other people. The signals you see are actually coming because those people have their own trading strategy. that should necessarily not mean that that should be a strategy as well to make money. Secondly, signals have a time factor. Um, as you make yourself comfortable thinking you're going to make money because someone has sent you signals, remember you are investing your personal money, and the signals you have paid for, the person has already earned money from you. But earning money is not bad, because at the end of the day, if somebody takes their time to do the analysis well, but as a beginner, I would encourage you that please resist. I know it is not very easy. Many of us do download apps, APKs, and everything. We have all these signals within our messages, but I will tell you, it's a very, very huge trap. And before you know it, you'll be running into zero balance, getting stopped out, and many times you will actually find yourself frustrated. So, with that said, I want to listen in from one of the individuals. Like I said, guys, I have been listening to chats in different communities, but there is no community that has actually impacted my psychological and discipline in trading like the way these guys have been doing. And I'm so glad to see them here, to be speaking to them live from Kampala, East Africa. I mean, these guys are spread all over the world, so it's totally in different parts, but trading doesn't change. The market somebody in New York is trading is the market somebody in Kampala, somebody in Lagos, somebody in Joburg, is trading. So we don't have to change the discipline. We just have to do the right things that actually work in the market. So I want to invite Lone Wolf. Collins, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good evening. How are
Yeah,
you?
fantastic. I'm okay. I'm very happy to have you here. Um, I've been listening to the conversations you guys have been doing for quite some time now, and I'm very, very much inspired. Very, very much. There's a lot of things that we've been learning from some of the things you've been saying. And I love the fact that you're building a community of knowledgeable people, people that can become independent in decision making, but using the right information to take those decisions. So I'm so glad that you're all here. So, Collins, would you talk to us about the beginning stages of trading and discipline?
Okay, yeah. It's actually very much funny. Yeah, thank you very much. I'm not, I'm not that very much good to all those accolades and stuff like that. So that's why I'm laughing actually. So yeah, about the trading beginner's journey, or maybe a beginner's trading journey. Well, it's kind of a journey that is maybe kind of like up and down, where like that when a beginner just start trading, what is in their mind is just that maybe they want to get out the strategy, they want to make money, they want to get it sorted out, maybe with trading and some other kind of things like that. You get. So I cannot just maybe speak too well because I'm still a developing trader, but I'll speak to the level I know that yes, I can just maybe tell some people. So yeah, so the stuff with discipline is that as a beginner, you should be able to put out the work. You should be able to put out the work because now it's actually not very much easy. It's not very much easy coming up to the chart every day in the morning to check the chart, to also study, even in good times and also bad times. And discipline is something that is very much needed if we would want to grow as traders, even as beginners. And one of the things that beginners actually neglect is the issue with discipline, risk management, and psychology. They feel that technical analysis is just what it is. You get, they just have to just get the technical analysis sorted out, and they feel that they can just make it out in trading. And it's actually not very much true. Do you understand? Because technical analysis, just as you said, is one of the least things that you should focus on in trading. That is why you see a whole lot of people that trade support and resistance. They make a whole lot of money. Do you understand? They don't trade ICT concepts. They don't trade SMC concepts. They don't trade the way maybe some other people trade. They are not very much precise with trading, but they make a whole lot of money that most of all those kind of people are not making. And it's because of the discipline aspect, the psychology aspect, and also their risk management aspect that is also in place. Do you understand? And so, as a beginner, it is very much important that you focus on discipline. Yeah. So discipline is doing something that you might not just like it, but you just have to do it. It is something that is needed. Do you understand? And some spaces back, we were talking about demo trading. I'm just giving an example. We're talking about demo trading and how demo trading is actually very much underrated by traders. And discipline will call for you to use a certain kind of lot size when you are trading demo. Not just because you are trading demo, then you can just do what you feel or maybe do what you want to do because you feel that it's paper money. Do you understand? So I don't know, but these are just the kind of things I can just say. So I don't talk too much, so I don't know how I can. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Can you guys hear me? So hello.
No, we do get you, by the way. One of the things that I really, really do appreciate is the openness with which in the communities where we've been, listening to some of the conversations you're doing. And I remember there is a lady from the US that you just, interviewed some few days back
Yeah,
on one of
Alice.
your conversations. Yeah, I mean, that was one of the conversations that was really, really, really deep. And the way she talked about discipline and how to stay focused, especially after when you learn and you know your potentials and you know what you
Yeah,
want to be chasing in the market, that was a
yeah,
moving point. So
yeah.
one of the reasons that Collins, I think many people actually don't understand is it true that as a beginner you can flip accounts and become rich in the first month or even the first year?
Yes, it's possible. It's actually very much possible because, like, okay, like Lajo is here and he's a trader too. And there was one day, like, he was on my face and he was sharing his story with us on how during his beginning times in trading, he said like he flipped, was it 5K to 15K or something? If I'm mistaken, maybe with the certain amount, but he flipped that certain amount. So it is very much possible that someone as a beginner can get that beginner's luck. Do you understand? Where you can just do that particular thing and then you get that certain kind of result. But you know that, okay, now let's say for example, now we know that when you would want to do some things, you can just do some things based on luck or maybe based on just doing it out of your own leisure and it can work out fine. Do you understand? It can work out for that moment, fine. But when it comes to a journey, something that can sustain you, you know it is not sustainable. That is why you see some people that cannot live. Okay, for example, now if maybe you say, I say, okay, let's say Ugaman, and I say, okay, I'm your friend and I trade forex, and maybe you don't trade forex, and I said, okay, I'm going to be giving you 50K or maybe 10K dollars or 5K dollars every month. Do you understand? Where you'll be able to take care of yourself. Now, you might be using that money now based on the fact that I'm giving you that money. But Ugama, I want to ask you a question now. When you are maybe when you want to build a family, can you now use that money I am giving you to build your family? Can your family depend on that money I'm giving you? No, right? Because you know that you would want to level up, you would want to get some things that is even worth more than 5K. And that is where discipline now comes in place. That is where the work now comes in place. Where you need to put in the work, put in the energy for you to get the things that is needed. Do you understand? So a beginner can get the beginner's luck of flipping accounts. It is very much possible. You can flip account, do those things. It's just something that will just work for that moment. Do you understand? But when it comes to lasting success and growth in trading, man, luck is out of it. That is where discipline comes in place, where you know you need to put up standards, you need to set up strategies. Do you understand? Because now we as humans now we make some mistakes and we cannot eradicate those mistakes 100%. Do you understand? But we need to raise up systems that can checkmate those mistakes. So like there was something I started doing recently, like before, like yeah, before when it comes to risking in trading, like if someone okay, well I remember one of my friends that asked me like how many percent do you risk in trading? And I was like, do you guys risk percent at all? Because I just do anything I want to do. Do you understand? And I just felt like, oh, I can just do what I want to do, go maybe to the stage I want to go to, and just be able to checkmate myself. Do you understand? So I was doing that stuff for a certain period of time until when I got to come to the point where I knew that I need to set out my risk management aspect. I need a plan. I need a strategy. I need to create a model, a trading plan for myself because I found out that when I was moving like that, I could do anything out of randomness. I could just do anything randomly. Do you understand? I can just wake up one morning without getting a proper model. I can just see a trade and just trade it anytime. Do you understand? The issue of randomness was there. Why? Because that system, because the system I've not built was not already there. Do you get? But when I built a system and built a trading plan, I was not now moving based on randomness. I knew that anything I would do will be based on the rules and the guidelines, the strategy I have put in place. Do you understand? So now I risk 0.5% per trade. Most of the times, my stop loss is actually very much tight because I enter from 1 minute, 3 minutes. Do you get? So if maybe I'm being stopped out on a trade, I can get stopped out on a trade like let's say 3 times or something, and my loss for that day, maybe I would not even get to maybe a percent drawdown for any account. I will not get to a drawdown of 1%. Do you understand? So in that way, I am able to be conservative with the losses I am making because trading now is not a business that you know that you can just do it and just go all in. Do you understand? A lot of traders do that they feel they can just go all in, stake all their money and do those things. But a time will come where you know that you need to checkmate yourself and think twice. Now, when you go into the marketplace, you're not going to the marketplace with the thinking of what you want to get. You're going into the marketplace with the understanding of what you are about to risk. Do you understand? Now you are thinking, oh, if I'm about to risk this thing, can I risk this thing and then I will not be able to move? Do you understand? So you are moving in with the understanding of your risks, not with the profit aspect. Do you understand? And so now when I started doing most of all those kind of things, I can just get losses and stuff like that, and then just one good trade that I would get will cover up for all the losses I've made. Do you understand? So in that way, I am not going to be getting more drawdown, and I'm able to stay on the longer term. Do you understand? Unlike the way I was moving before, that I could just place a trade, get any kind of loss, and then I just move on. Do you understand? So now I have systems that can help me, systems that can checkmate me, systems that I am supposed to obey. Do you understand? If I would want to make use of the trading space. Do you understand? So now, if maybe I would make up a loss, or maybe I'll take up a loss, it will be on different things. Maybe number one, I did not get my bias right. Do you understand? Maybe the bias well, maybe what I was thinking the market would play out did not play out in that way. Maybe I was expecting a bullish trend, and then the market went on a bearish trend. So the market went on a bearish trend. Do you understand? So that is one reason that can make me lose my trade. The second reason that can make me lose my trade is maybe based on emotions. Emotions like I went into early, stuffs like that. Do you understand? And some of all those kind of little things. So as a beginner, yes, you can flip those accounts in your beginning stage. But when it comes to lasting success and endurance in trading, man, flipping account is more than flipping account. It involves principles, it involves strategies, it involves discipline, it involves patience. Do you understand? It involves all those kind of things where you know you can look away from the distractions, look away from even what your friend is doing, and just do what you would want to do. Follow your own plan. Do you understand? So you know that if you are getting that loss, you get the loss and you move on with it. You learn from your loss and you move on. Do you understand? So yeah, these are just the kind of things I can just say.
Fantastic. Actually, you mentioned something that is very, very key. Emotions. Like I said early in the conversation, one of the biggest things that actually distorts the trading patterns for beginners is wanting to go and do revenge trading. This thing of saying, "Hey, I've lost my $50. I want to go and catch up with what I have lost now," or I want to make sure that I make back up $100 that I have lost. And then in the end, they actually do rush into the market without even doing any analysis. And maybe also just to make this a bit, just as an insight for those of you that are starting out, it is very important to avoid positioning your trades on the phone without analysis. Let me tell you, one of the biggest traps today in the Forex market is owning the app on your phone and thinking you're going to read the market from your phone, 5 minutes, 10 minutes and 15 minutes charts, and you want to position a trade. I want to, sometimes you're going to get lucky, but you are actually getting closer to a point where you're going to be overwhelmed and emotions will kick in and failure and revenge behavior will start to show up. So I want to ask you, if you're a beginner and you're lucky enough to have a computer, I want to ask you that you do open the charts. don't trade any single pair, any single currency, any single asset without looking at the charts on a computer. It's a very huge trap, guys. It's a very, very huge trap. And
Yes, it's actually
how
true.
they,
It's actually very much true
yeah,
because that's why I even tell people. I wonder how people analyze with phone. But you know why? You know why maybe some people analyze with phone is because maybe some people don't have the advantage of maybe getting a system or maybe getting a computer, and then that's just what they have. And then you don't just have to just sit down and just wait and just keep on wishing that you get a system. But you have to move with what you have at that moment. But when it comes to using your phone to analyze, like it is not something that can like it's not something that is very much advisable if you know you would want to get proper precision in your trading because basically you cannot see all your chart view you get. You cannot see the details in the chart very well. You are just limited to a certain um like a very small space. Do you understand? Which is your phone, and then analyzing with your phone, and you'll just be seeing just that day stuff. And but when you're using your laptop and using your computer, you can see informations of like 2 days past, last week, or maybe stuff like that. Do you understand? So it is very much okay that you get a phone or maybe a tab. You see people having tab, and then they are able to do all those kind of things you get. But if you don't have any of them, you can just move on with your phone. But it is not just very much advisable. Even ICT says it.
yeah, very, very true. And what's funny is when, of course, the brokers and everybody, like when they advertise the brokers and the platforms where people can be able to trade, everybody in the advert is showing, oh, the phone I positioned, oh, I made money. I'll tell you guys, as a beginner, do not fall for that trap. That's level number one. You need to know it. The markets are not a gambling ground. The markets are not a lottery. It's not a lottery. That's why Wall Street has been around for a very long time, and successful traders have been there trading markets for the longest time ever because it's not a lottery. It's not a gamble. It's something that must be backed up by historical data, by facts in the news. Fundamental analysis, technical analysis, psychology and behavior, and all these things. So please and please, as a beginner, I know a lot of my friends who do have these apps on their phones. I was a victim too. Actually, I moved from app to app, and things were not working out until I got this insight. And this is what I say: conversations like this one could actually, like you could be there listening to us right now, and this could be a changing moment. When you do reach the market tomorrow, it's going to be a different story. It's going to be something that you have never done before. So I used to use the phone and, thinking I could position the trades. Of course, small accounts, $10, $25, $50, and you're there playing, you think you're scalping on an account of $50. But the thing is, it was a trap. I actually learned later when I joined a conversation when someone was trying to teach people and said, hey, look here, never go into a trade without looking at the charts. Never go into a trade without looking at the charts. Like I said, there's no right way of doing the wrong thing. You could be lucky, like Lone Wolf said it. You could be lucky today, but I can tell you, you're getting yourself closer to the fire. It will burn you. So instead of doing that, you better start learning to do the right thing, do the analysis, teach yourself to do the analysis. And even after doing the analysis, teach yourself to look at the fundamentals that affect that pair. For a very long time, I used to position my trades even on a demo account, and I had no idea that I had to read some bit of fundamental analysis, the news that are affecting the pair that I was trading. So many times I would wake up and I'm like, oh, okay, 2 p.m. Ugandan time, the New York market is peaking. I want to go into this pair, GBP USD, and I position it. Then I discover later that there was news actually that was coming out at 1 p.m. Now you find yourself, you were actually stopped out, you know, and it is very perturbing. So many times when you join conversations like this one, it helps you to decipher, it helps you to draw that checkpoint, that analysis. Go back, look at yourself in the mirror and say, oh, I have been doing it the wrong way. Appreciate the fact that you've been doing it the wrong way. Start doing it the right way. I'll tell you, many people do come, and today there is a very, very confusing, Lone Wolf, if you could actually also maybe attest to this, there's a lot of information out there that is confusing to beginners. Many people are picking things from Telegram channels, many people are picking things from social media, and they're picking them from the wrong people that, okay, I won't call them the wrong people, but they're picking them from strangers. I think that's the right word, because
Yeah.
maybe yeah, they're picking them from strangers, and you don't know why that stranger is using that strategy to trade that pair. And sometimes they depend more on fundamentals than the technical. And this person will tell you historically, when the Prime Minister of Great Britain changes, this is going to happen to the pound for this amount of time. Now, you who is used to the technical analysis, you actually have no backup to those facts that for him is using fundamentals. So taking his strategy is actually also opening you and exposing you to a huge risk. And sometimes you don't know if
Yeah.
even you have to hold the trade until it is finished, or you've got to stop the trade when you are halfway into the profit, or anything could happen. So, as a beginner, this is something that you need to teach yourself. Stop thinking YouTube and Google is the masterclass. The masterclass is in communities that do discuss the market. I repeat this, guys. The masterclass is in the communities that discuss the markets. If you want to discover that you can do more, that you can learn more, do reach out to these masterclasses where people are teaching other traders. You will appreciate yourself and you will thank me later, because when you teach yourself, sometimes when you don't understand, you will forever not understand. If you make a mistake in doing your analysis and you're doing it individually, you will forever make that mistake. There are people that have traded the market 10 years and they tell you they have even never had an opportunity to make $100 out of the money they do. And it is a fact that many people do make losses. The statistics have it 90% of traders do fail. And that should be a checkpoint for you to actually think deeper. Why is it that 90% of traders fail? How should I be part of the 10%? Um, I don't know, Lone Wolf, if you want to comment about this emotion of wanting to revenge the market. How should people avoid it? Like, when should someone shut down their computer and take a walk? After how many losses? Like, let's just share some of those insights, maybe.
Okay. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, you said something before. Let me just say something before I tackle that one. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. You're
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, okay. So yeah, you talked about the fact that yes, some people actually take up informations from anywhere. And guys, this is true. Not just to the developing traders alone. Like this is true. Like not just to the developing traders alone, but to also existing traders. Now, let me tell you something. Information can be of aid to you and it can be of disadvantage to you depending on how you take the information. Do you understand? Now, we can, that's why I even tell people that, see, guys, because, see, let me tell you something. I see a whole lot of people, yeah, a lot of people like trading, and you see them moving from one concept to another concept to another concept to another concept. And one of the reasons of this is that they don't have their aim, they don't have a defined goal as to why they are trading, sincerely speaking. Because when you have an aim and when the purpose of something is defined, you would not even waste time doing some certain kind of things, sincerely speaking. Okay, let me give an example of two people. Let me say trader A has a schedule for today, which his schedule is okay, maybe wake up in the morning, his own trading kind of activities, like okay, maybe read, meditate, go out on a walk, listening to music, maybe that will just cool his mind down, listening to podcasts and stuff like that, So he has his own schedule listed down. And let's say trader B now might just wake up without any strategy, maybe without any schedule, and he's just moving anywhere belly face. Do you understand? Anywhere his stomach faces, that's what he's going to do. Do you understand? And now, based on the trader A has a schedule, defined goal, he would not waste his time doing some other irrelevant things. Now, the definition of irrelevant things is not something that is of no use. It can be something that is useful, but at that point in time, you don't need it. Sincerely speaking, that is why traders need to define the reason why they are trading. You need to know why you are trading. Like, why are you trading? Are you trading because you are seeing disciplined trader charts and you want to make your chart very much beautiful? If that is your goal, then when you start studying the chart and then you start annotating your chart like that, you have gotten your profit, you have gotten your result. Or are you trading for the fact that you want to beat inflation? You want to make your life a better one. You want to take care of yourself, you want to take care of your family, you want to be able to live above the average means that everybody is living on. If that is your aim, then you know that you would not want to waste time doing some things that are not useful. Now, let me tell you the sincere truth. You can trade support and resistance and be very much profitable. Yes, you can. You can. Technicals is not the thing that make people money. Sincerely speaking, it's not the only. Technicals is one of the least thing that make people money. Yes, and I'm not trying to bullshit technicals or something. Technicals is actually very much needed, but it's one of the least things that make people money. Because now, when we started trading, we are looking for strategies. One strategy that we can use to make money. After you gotten a strategy and a model and a trading plan, that is when you would know that applying your strategy is what matters now, because it is one thing to have a strategy and it is another thing to apply that strategy consistently till the time that it starts working. Do you understand? And this is where traders fail, because they feel like, oh, maybe if you have a strategy, it's supposed to work out very fine. In the market, you can do most of all those kind of things. Every trading strategy has its own flaws. There are times, yes, we take up losses, yes. We can take up losses, yes, but that does not mean that you should change your strategy. No, just because of one loss you took at this particular moment. Because you have a whole lot of trades that you can take in 2 years. You have a whole lot of trades that you can take in 100 years. Something happened to me yesterday. I was looking through my laptop and I was going through my screenshots of chart annotations I have. And so I went far back into maybe June, July, May, you understand? And then I was looking at the chart annotation I had of my winning trades, you understand? Because, like, let me say from Friday, yeah, where are we now? We are in Thursday now. From Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, like, these days have not, like, kind of been too good for me in the market. Do you understand? It has just been doing things anyhow. Do you get? And most of the times, I try as much as possible, because I'm human too. We will not let most of all those kind of things to get to us, but we know we are human. There's no way it cannot get to us. Do you understand? So, despite the fact that, yes, my risk management is very much okay. Do you understand? Even if I take up losses, it's not kind of the losses that when you listen to, you'll be like, yeah, this thing is actually very much small. Like, you can get this thing. Do you understand? But the fact that I made some mistakes that I was not supposed to make, like, it was kind of maybe wanting to demoralize me at that particular moment, you get. And I was kind of like, man, like, what's this stuff happening? What's this stuff happening? You get. And then I had to go back to my former chat annotations that I might have done in the past. And I was looking at those chat annotations and viewing all those chat annotations, it gave me a kind of courage for me to move on. Do you understand? For me to tell myself that, see, Collins, the problem is not about your system. The problem is not about the market. The market works, your system works. It might just be that I am making some mistakes based on maybe some habit or some other kind of things. Do you understand? And it's fine for you to make all those kind of mistakes. Embrace those mistakes. And I got that courage. And was it yesterday? Yesterday I analyzed the PM session and I entered the PM session because I summed up that courage to enter the PM session. And guess what? PM session went well for me, and I was like, wow, this is actually very much nice. Do you understand? So times like that where traders or maybe beginning traders, you don't need to be moving up and down looking for any kind of information to sort out yourself. Just get something that you know that it works. Then now it is your responsibility to back test it. It is your responsibility to forward test it. It is your responsibility to look at the market live. It is your responsibility to research more on it. It is your responsibility to learn more. It is your responsibility to act on what you know. Do you understand? If you know that you would want to get that result. So it comes from you defining why you are trading. Why are you trading? Are you trading because you want to make your chart very much beautiful and post it and people will tell you, wow, your chart is very much beautiful? That stuff does not put food on the table. Yes, it doesn't. There are a lot of people that their chart annotation, they don't even put a whole lot of things and they make a whole lot of money. Do you understand? So we as traders need to refine the reason why we are trading. Do you understand? And so yeah, you asked a question concerning I've forgotten the question. I've been talking a
Um,
lot.
uh, okay, yeah. Let me just remind you the question. The question was about the emotions and wanting to revenge the market. And also, it's very true that when you starting out in the market, every time you make a loss, you feel like, I made a mistake. I placed a buy. I was supposed to place a sell, and let me put back maybe $50. Go in and now place the sell if you did a buy before, or I did buy from the resistance. Maybe now this time around, I need to buy a bit distance away, some pips away from the resistance, something like that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give someone? Especially, I wanted to know, when is it time to walk away from the screen so you can have your mind recomposed?
Okay, yeah. So concerning the issue of emotions, now you know that for the fact that we are humans, we cannot eradicate the 100% fact that we can do most of all those kind of things that we do. Do you understand? But one of the things that we need to do is to build up systems. Do you understand? Now, if you have a system and you have a law, you would not be able to go against that law very much easy. Do you understand? Because you know that that system is something that you need to abide from. It is because a lot of traders they have not built a system yet that is able to checkmate them. So now concerning the issue of emotions or revenge trading, you need to know that this market is a market of probability. You need to know that the market is a market of probability. You need to know that despite the fact that you can call these trades, this market can go against you the next moment. Do you understand? So traders, I would say traders have a lot of dependence on their system um, and their strategy, that they fail to understand that the market, number one, is a market of probability, and then number two is that you can get your setup anytime. You have unlimited opportunities to this market. Do you understand? So you just have to wait. If maybe you have been stopped out on a certain time, you just need to wait and then wait for another trading day where you can enter, because capital preservation is key. Do you understand? And the reason why maybe most people do this kind of things they do, it is because they still look at trading from the normal gambling kind of mindset. Do you understand? They don't have the mindset to know that trading is a business. Trading is a system. It is a business. It is not something that you just do anyhow. You get. You need to be diligent. You need to build systems. You need to build strategies. You need to make up plans. You need to get those stuff sorted out, because on the long run it can help you. So as a trader, the only thing I can tell you that can help you to do most of all those kind of things is that you are able to build systems for yourself. Do you understand? Now, mark out a system for yourself. A lot of traders say, oh, yeah, I know my model. My model is in my mind. And yet they have not written it down boldly on a paper for them to know. That's that's nonsense. Sincerely, you need to write down your system down, put it down on a paper, putting down your risk management aspect. Like, what are you willing to risk in a trade? I have my technical trading plan and my model sorted out. I have the risk management aspect. I have the psychology aspect. I have routines that I do every day that I wake up before even I even trade. I know the things I do. Do you understand? So I can boost my mindset, grow my psychology, build myself, so I can be reducing that self and that emotion kind of kind of, how would I put it, like kind of that emotion kind of trading. Do you understand? So a kind of trading where you know that you are trading based on your system, where you know that you need to believe your system and trade. Do you get? So as a beginner, or maybe as a trader, as an existing trader, or anyone, you need to build up systems for yourself. Mark it out. How many percent are you willing to risk in a trade. Have a percentage that you know that you want to risk per trade. Have a percentage that you know that anything that makes you go to this percentage of loss in a day, you should not trade again. Do you understand? I know it might be hard. Yes, you might have those itchy fingers to trade, but you can just get yourself maybe an accountability partner, someone you can talk to, someone you can share your views with and stuff like that, where the person can talk sense into your mind and some other kind of things like that you get. So as a trader, we know that you can do most of all those kind of things where you know that you can still go beyond and maybe blast your plan and maybe go against your plan. But over time, do you understand? Give yourself time. Over time, you start conforming to the system that you have built. Do you understand? And you find out that you are not that kind of person that you were before. That you are being too maybe you are being too kind of maybe emotion driven, kind of randomness and some other kind of things like that. You get so get a system for yourself because when a plan of something is not known, you tend to misuse it. Do you understand? So get a plan for yourself so you know you can eradicate the issue of random trading, where you know that you are going into the market knowing what you are looking for in the market. If you don't get that thing, you are not trading. Do you understand? And you know, yes, your mind might not be maybe too developed. Listen to podcasts, connect with people. That's why communities like this are here. I started a community on Discord, and it's not just today I created that particular community. Like, if you come to think of it, like most people, like a friend of mine, like chatted me up on WhatsApp, and it was like, guy, like, see the way you just came out, and then everybody's just knowing you, no wolf, no. I was like, guy, are you serious? Are you serious? Because like, I swear, like, are you serious? Like, I've not been on Twitter. Like, it was. See, I did not get on Twitter last month. I did not just join Twitter last month. I've been on Twitter for months, like months. Like when we talk of months, I mean, when I started maybe focusing on ICT, when I know I started focusing on ICT, starting to look out for some students that I know they trade ICT concepts, I started doing that in March. That was when I started doing that in March. Come to think of it, March. I've been on Twitter for like last year. I was doing maybe crypto marketing, affiliate marketing, and some other kind of things like that. But I started trading ICT concept fully this year, March. And then I deleted most of the things I was doing and I started looking for ICT students online. And the reason why I started looking for them online was the fact that I saw a space on the issue of community with maybe the things that traders face. And we know this stuff that people say iron sharpens iron. It is very much true. Iron sharpens iron. Show me your friend and I will tell you who you are. The kind of people you move with determines the kind of results you get. Now, it is not the fact that maybe I'm saying something that is just this is just a fantasy. It is no fantasy. It isn't. It is not a fantasy. If you move with Yusuf constantly for 1 month, there's no way you can think the same way you think before. Do you understand? That might be that maybe Yusuf is not adding value to you. But with the way you are moving with Yusuf and Yusuf is adding value to you, or maybe anybody in this space, there is no way you can become or maybe remain the same way you are. And I saw that space of the fact that ICT traders, yes, precisely, ICT traders don't have that community. I see most of them online, they just do their things online. And the time I joined Twitter, I now saw ICT, like there was a time ICT profile was kind of private, so I could not see his stuff, like his update and stuff. So I just, okay, no problem. So I just started like following a whole lot of them, and I remember I saw Yusuf. I started following Yusuf. I started following a whole lot of people. I followed Yusuf. I followed ICT. I followed who again? Like many of them. And so one of the things that I started doing was that, and I said, okay, let me start reaching out to African ICT students. Do you understand? Because now you know that African have so much painted that kind of figure and that structure maybe to the whites, that when the white sees Africans now, they kind of maybe look at Africans with just maybe one kind of eyes. You get, they look at Africans like when they are moving with Africans, they are not moving with Africans 100%. You understand? Because of what they have heard, what they know, maybe what they have seen of the kind of bad characters that some Africans have modeled to them. Do you understand? And so I saw it that okay, maybe me reaching out to most of the white guys, it will be very much hard because most of them will feel like, oh, I want to reach out to them maybe for them to give me money and stuff like that. Do you understand? And so I just said, okay, let me just start reaching out to Nigerian ICT students. And I started seeing a whole lot of them, and I started messaging them. I started messaging them on their inbox. I told them, "Oh, hello, my name is Colin Somanus. I'm an ICT student. I'm a trader. I was hoping that maybe you would join this WhatsApp community where we can share our views on trading and stuff like that." To be sincere, most of the people, there are most people that I know, like I see those people on my space, like those people now join my space. Most of those people, when I reached out to them that beginning time, most of them did not even reply me. Come to think of it, like most of them did not reply, and I can tell, like it was so saddening. Sincerely speaking, most of them snubbed me, and I was like, well, I understand. Do you understand? Maybe just move on, you get. But most of all those kind of challenges and most of all those kind of things did not just put me back. Do you understand? And so I created this WhatsApp community. Formerly, it was named Trading Floor, and then we were just three. I added a friend of mine, which I knew was a trader. He does not trade ICT concept. So I just created a group and I said, okay, guys, this kind of group will be our trading floor. Do you get? Where different traders can come to share ideas on what to trade, accountability, and stuff like that. We can just grow because I believe in the power of community. I believe in the power of community. So I created a WhatsApp community and I added those guys. And then I started reaching out to those guys now. Most of them replied to me. Like few. I can count the number of people that replied to me. There are some people that replied to me. I can call their names like Faraday. There's one guy called Faraday, Andrew, most of all those kind of guys. So they now replied to me, and then I saw that yeah, at least we are doing well. You get? I was very much happy for the fact that I reached out to one person, and the person said, okay, no problem, add me up on WhatsApp. And I was happy. Do you understand? I was happy that wow, at least I can connect with traders and move on. You get? So I added two, and then we became 10. We became 10 in that WhatsApp group. It started from WhatsApp. Sorry, I'm taking too much time.
No, 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 no.
So yeah,
That's why we are in our community here. That's why in our community, man. We never gonna have any other spaces where people allow us to talk about these things anywhere else. So
yeah,
it's within these conversations that we hold ourselves, where we get to discuss, and perhaps quite a lot of people may never even give us that space because they know the kind of power that communities
yeah,
create. So when
yeah,
people
true.
realize that, hey, oh, these guys are enlightening people, so there could be some people that don't like it, but I mean,
Yeah,
we are
true.
now not stoppable. I don't think we are stoppable now
Yeah,
because we've I mean, you guys are here. From here we're gonna go to your conversation. The other day Yusuf is gonna have another conversation, so it's gonna be hard for them to stop us now.
yeah, that's true. So yeah, so I created a WhatsApp community, and then we were not 10. And then when we were 10, I started telling them that guys, see what is happening. And then I got to figure out that those guys now were ICT students, you get. And I was very much happy that yeah, since for the fact that I was not studying 2022 mentorship, I saw someone I can talk fair value gaps with. Do you understand? The person can share his own ideas. We can learn. Do you understand? That's what community is. And we can teach each other. Do you understand? Learn from each other mistakes. And then we were 10 and we started moving like that. And then where the breakthrough started, where I now started reaching out to a whole lot of people, and then people started gaining that exposure was just one day. It started from one night. So that night I was just sitting down and then I saw the power of Twitter spaces, like people were hosting Twitter spaces again. I was like, man, like nobody hosts Twitter spaces on trading. Like if you just come, you just see some people saying some nonsense shit. They are selling one courses. They are talking about this nonsense. They are, you get, and then I was very much annoyed. Like nobody can create a Twitter space like this, and we can relate. Like talk to those guys, and they can share their stories. You get. And so I said, Omo, I just went to the WhatsApp group and I told them that guys, how far? How about we create a WhatsApp, a Twitter space, and I named the Twitter space ICT students gather here, let's talk. Can you believe that? All of them read that message. None of them replied me. none of, like none, like none of them replied me. And I was discouraged the first day, and I left it. The second day, it came up in my mind again, and I believed it was God that was kind of pushing it in my mind. And then I told them again, and that day was just very much different. They did not still reply me. And then I got annoyed. I said, Omo, you guys are very much annoying. Like, imagine me sending messages here and then you guys are not replying. I bet you guys should just get out. You get, I was very much annoyed. And then I went to Twitter and I just set up a Twitter. So I was like, if anybody would not join, no problem. For the fact that I created this space and then I would just, like, feel my own urge, you get. I'll just let it out, you get. So I created that Twitter space, recorded it. That was the first space or so. And then I named it ICT Students Gather Here, Let's Talk. And so, like, three people first joined. I was like, oh, guys, there, share the link, share the link, share the link. And then a lot of you started joining, and that was the first time that people joined, and I started seeing ICT students. And then one of the students that joined that day, like ICT student that saw it, like Lajo joined, Swanky joined, and I was following Lajo. I was like, wow, Lajo, you get you. You know when you see all those stuffs online, I'll be like, wow, like guy, I love your updates you're posting. I love your chat analysis, guy. Like I like even you get like because Lajo is someone that have been learning ICT since you get, and when you see someone that have started learning it since, you know that someone that can speak to you based on the concept he has been understanding. Do you get? And so they joined and they started talking on the space, and then they were like they are very much surprised that they could see this kind of space happening, and that was the beginning of everything. And one of the reasons why I created most of all these spaces was that most people would connect with each other. Most people would talk with
That,
each
that's
other.
that's actually very,
Most
very,
people
very
would,
important. So
yeah,
one of the reasons why I think we've had an issue with our communities growing is the fact that we've been for a very long time traders have been islands. People feared talking to each other. We're in
yeah,
communities and people felt like, oh, okay, those are the scammers. Those, especially in the
yeah,
African community, we
exactly.
our self-esteem was never that high. So
Yeah.
these conversations actually right now are popping out. Everybody wants to say, hey, I'm a trader. How can I be part of the conversation? And I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, true. And so, like when the community started, I then went on to create. Then we now started getting full on the WhatsApp. I was like, wow, what do we do? I then created the Telegram, and because Telegram was kind of very much decentralized, where if someone sends a link, I can ban you instantly. Like I'm not going to be like when you have started seeing people, and then you don't. You are, it's just kind of a mother hen that is guiding her chicks. You get. She's very much protective. You get. And so I created the Telegram, and then a lot of people started joining spaces. A lot of people started joining spaces, and then that was when I then met the discipline trader, and then discipline trader joined the WhatsApp group, and then we were talking like me and discipline trader we were now talking on WhatsApp, and then I was like, oh, how about we create a Discord group? Okay, someone
You
suggested how
know,
about we
you
create
know,
a Discord group?
Lenwolf, just to let you know,
Yeah.
there is someone actually who gave me a real insight. Now, let me tell you my journey. I have been doing digital content for a very long time, influencer and all that kind of stuff. So one day someone walked to me and said, hey, how much money do you make from influencing? And I told them, and they told me, okay, now that you make that much money, what's the plan? What's the plan? Because influencing is actually a very good venture, but what are you doing that is going to take you to the next level of your financial success? Um, and now that you actually know how to go about the internet, what other things can you do around the internet that can make you a better individual? Now, I'll tell you the fact is, um, for me to take the decision to become a trader, it was not because maybe I just saw people and I got attracted. No, it's because someone asked me a very personal question and said, okay, if you earn $1,000 today, how do you use it to make sure that you become a better person tomorrow as an influencer? And what do you do in those scenarios when you have no activities that you're doing as an influencer? So I thought about it and I'm like, okay, cool. If I do influencing and get the money, then maybe I should learn this art and learn how I can put that money to use as I look out for more money. So for me, when you talked about the reason why you joined trading, I think that's one of the fundamental things actually that pushed me. And because of that, I also discovered, because one of the reasons we have been able to succeed as maybe digital influencers lately, it's not an industry that is well crafted in Africa, but we are somewhere now because we created communities. So when I joined the trading, I was like, okay, I want to bring the aspect of community creation, community nurturing from my digital influencing background to the Forex trading aspect, because I realized that a lot of people are doing amazing things out there, but many feared to. This is how I make my money. This is how I'm trading. This is what I learned. Financial markets are working. The funny thing is, every time we watch business news, we do watch these things being discussed on Bloomberg, CNN, and everywhere, Wall Street, but we never ask ourselves a question: what, how the hell can I be part of the financial markets? And And for me, I think that's where the real thing for a beginner starts from. Why would you want to be part of Forex trading? What reason do you have? What is giving you the juice? What is that gist that is pushing you to be part of that? But before I come back to you, Lone Wolf, I want to speak to FX Syndicate. FX, if you're there, and what comments do you have on our topic today, trading the market for beginners and also the discipline?
Hey guys, is it okay if I get back to this question in like 5 seconds when I get into the car? Because it's a little bit too noisy and I don't want to put everyone through that. Is that cool?
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah,
No
just
worries.
give me like
No worries.
5 minutes. I'll literally tune back in.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah. So, okay, cool. So Lone Wolf, that's the gist you're talking about. Why are you trading? A lot of people, because they have got some $100, they buy the course, they go buy signals. Of late, I see people buying robots, and you ask yourself, okay, you're buying a robot, you're a beginner. How are you even going to apply the robot? How are you? I'm not saying robots are bad. I'm not saying all that stuff is bad, signals and all that stuff. But how are you going to make use of it? Actually exposing your money to the risk of losing it. So just a little bit to you, Lone Wolf. Just tell me something about also raising capital for trading, because I know this is also another area that a lot of beginners make mistakes. And I'll give you an example. I have a friend of mine. They ended up selling some few things just because they wanted to raise $350 to start trading. But they were actually premature in the market. And as soon as they started trading, they were doing market orders. And I mean market orders like you watch the graph moving and then you just position. You actually have no idea about stop loss. You have no nothing. So this guy blew the account. And of course, he got into depression a little bit. But then like 4 months later, he bounced back in the market. So I want you to talk to us. How would you advise that beginners do raise capital? Like, or when it comes to the demo, how would you motivate people to actually take the demo accounts more seriously? Because it looks like a lot of people do ignore them and they end up making mistakes and wasting a lot of money.
Yeah, can FS Syndicate go first?
Are
Okay,
you
yeah.
sure?
Yeah, Syndicate, you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready. I just don't want to be disrespectful to anyone else and cut in line.
No. Go
No, no,
ahead.
go
Go
on.
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
Sorry, bro, I'm Canadian, you know. So I feel like at least this is something that I can speak on because I myself am on still demo, and I'm not sure if anyone here is an ICT student. Obviously, I know that Lone Wolf and Insider and Yusuf are. So is Polynesia, but I'm not sure if anyone else is. But the reason I say that is because it's my personal opinion, as like I find the case with most people that I speak with, is that demo is a place where you get your technical confidence from, right? You get your confidence from in terms of finding that repetitive model, getting comfortable with it. And this kind of all sounds easy and stuff, because I'm kind of compiling everything into like a small little sentence. But even in ICT's Bridge Builder video, if you guys have watched that, he said that, like, if you go into live funds thinking you're technically ready because you've taken a couple of OTEs or traded a couple of fair value gaps, if you're trading from a place of fear, right, it's not going to end well. Most of the time you're going to end up blowing the account. Now, how do you know it's the right time? And this is according to ICT. He says that when you're no longer experiencing like excitement of any regard and trading becomes boring as hell, right? Even on demo, right? The day you can do, wax on, wax off for hours and days, and you're following your model, and you're following your rules, and a win doesn't excite you. Even being correct about something doesn't excite you. But on the other end of the spectrum, being wrong also doesn't affect you that much, right? Now, obviously, yes, demo and live trading, I can say myself, very different, right? But for me personally, in my life right now, I'm not going to go into it, but I'm going through certain things where it would be very, very irresponsible of me and yeah, it's just plain irresponsible of me to go live because what I'm going through in life right now, it would put me in a very stressful situation to feel like, I have to, produce results every single day or every single week, if that makes sense. So I know myself well enough to know that if I were to go live now, despite how I may be killing it technically, that's only like, 15-20% of it. Everything else is what really matters, right? So again, if you personally feel like you're that person where you've been on demo for, again, there's not, in my opinion, there's no timeline because everyone is different. One of my good friends, Debesidem, he says it himself. It's very intimate. Trading is a very intimate thing. You can follow someone else's blueprint for what may have worked for them, but you have to take that, um, with a little bit of like, like you have to kind of consider the fact that they're trying to tell you what helped them, and you have to remember that. I'm not saying that ignore people or anything. It's just take like whatever they're telling you in terms of advice. Obviously, they're not going to be malicious, right? But you keep that at the back of your mind, and then at the end of the day, you will still have to do what you need to do to make sure you're psychologically and technically ready to make that leap of faith, right? Into live trading. Hopefully that makes sense. In regards to taking it more seriously, I think that what that means to me personally is let's consider the amount of demo traders, quote unquote, like as a pie chart, right? How many demo traders or people who are even demo within this space right now, were you guys journaling properly when on demo? Were you guys adhering to your drawdown rules? Were you guys, journaling on your losses just as heavily as journaling your wins? Things like that, right? Because a lot of people think that, no, I can just get my model right and everything on demo, and then this kind of stuff, it'll just it'll just fall in line. When I go live, it'll magically just fall in line, and I'm just going to be successful. It does not work like that. You have to build the habits and on demo, because have you got, obviously you guys know Mark Douglas, right? But usually people talk about trading in the zone, but my personal favorite book of his is The Disciplined Trader, right? In The Disciplined Trader, he says it himself that he like he didn't say it like flat out, but he basically said in the beginning of the book that his lifestyle and where he was trading, right, it didn't match in the sense that his expenditures were so much higher than what he was capable of funding via his trading career, right? So what ended up basically happening is that he went bust, right? And he had to learn the process the right way because, like Yusuf said, bro, like when you're broke, you have no other choice but to study. So you can either learn it the hard way, which a lot of the people on Twitter are trying to help people, like not go through that in terms of, going live, like the general, mistakes, right? Going live too early, putting your life savings into that account, trying to lottery trade, and then you go bust. Right. Then you're crying on social media and you're asking people to, give you money and stuff. Right. What you guys have to realize is this is 2022, right? And things are only going to get better. There are funding companies out there, and yes, they're not the be all end all, but in terms of, needing to sell your things for funding a $350 account, I know that's a lot of money for some people, and I myself used to live in Africa, so I'm not detached from it whatsoever, right? I'm just saying that if you guys focus on the skill set, if you guys focus on the craft, like think about it right now, okay? We're going into a very, very bad period, like speaking about like economically speaking, even politically, right? There's gonna be investors on the sidelines with their money, and they're gonna be looking for yield. If everything around them is going to crap, right? If there are money managers out there that can, prove that they're resilient through any conditions. And by the way, guys, anyone that's learning to trade right now, right, during this condition, you're going to be far, far better off than people that learned to trade during a bull market and then that just got lucky, essentially, just buying on the way up, right? There are so many people. Like I joined random spaces here and there. There's some people who bring investor mindset into trading, and they're like emotionally attached to being a bull or bear. And these are things that will only get worse if you don't address these things on demo, in my opinion. Of course, there's gonna be things that you need, then you can only iron out when you go live. But in my opinion, just logically speaking, I would rather iron out every other part of my model and then my trading habits as best as I can on demo, so that when I do go live, 100% of my mental real estate is going to be focused on, making sure I'm psychologically, learning and adapting and things like that. Because if you go into live and you're not even technically sound, maybe you're following a signal service or something like that, and on top of that you have to deal with your psychology, I can't see any way, that would be good for anyone, right? Of course, like let's say for example you have a good job and everything, yeah, fund like a small account, right? Because that at that point that's disposable income, and that would be great, right? But for people who don't have disposable income, even the amount of $100 or whatever, if you're from another country and that's a significant amount to you, learn as much as possible, and just iron out things about your equity curve as best as you can on demo, but then do it the right way. Collect the data the right way. Like you should know, like for example, on Lone Wolf Spaces, one of my favorite things to do, obviously, I'm still a break-even trader. I can't show stats or anything, but something I like to share is like my before and afters, and then I'll show my executions, and hopefully people could reverse engineer something from my trade and learn from that, because that's how I learned, right? Like I wasn't on Instagram, I'm sorry, I wasn't on Twitter, but on IG, right? I would just follow traders and just like screenshot their trades and just reverse engineer it. Some people probably didn't even know, right? But like these are just like some of the habits that I mean. Like you don't have to go live to do it, right? You don't have to sell your belongings to fund a $350 account, like, to learn these things, right? That's my personal opinion. And then whenever you're ready, you can go for these funding challenges, right? Like there's so much out there, and it's only getting more competitive, and the trading conditions are only getting better for retail traders like ourselves. So yeah, sorry about the rant. I'm gonna close it off here, but thank you so much for having me, guys.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. Thank you very much. Those are actually very, very great insights, especially when you say do practice your craft until your confidence levels are high. I'll tell you, I was one of those that first ignored the demo accounts and thought like, hey, I think I'll get more attached when I'm doing money and stuff. But at the end of the day, I realized that, I just don't even know how to position a trade. I don't know how to do all the analysis. I better go and learn and then come back when I'm confident enough to face the market, so I can actually be part of this conversation of the market and what's happening in the market. So thank you very, very much, FX Syndicate. That was very, very insightful. So something else that, guys, we really, really need to pay attention to, and we can't afford to leave it out, is the fact that sometimes we stick to things that put us in shit. We stick to things that put us in trouble. And I'll give you an example. Many people that are starting out to trade always think it's about how much money you have in your account. That's a huge mistake. That's a huge mistake, guys. It's not about 10K. It's not about 1K. It's not about 45K. It's not about that. If you are hitting losses with $100, do not go into slumberland and start dreaming that you can make profits with a 10K dollars account. It doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. So I see a lot of people, especially people in their retired age. I have had an opportunity to share quite a lot with some, serious individuals, and I call them serious in brackets, like guys who are withdrawing their pension, guys who are withdrawing their retirement benefits. And the guy tells you, no, me, I just can't have 1K on the account. I need to have like 10K. That's about UGX 35 million shillings in Uganda shillings. And somebody says, I want to have that because when I have a bigger one, then I can go and position a bigger trade. And then if I make money, I make bigger money. I'm like, okay, listen up, sir. It's not about positioning bigger money. It's about learning how to consistently be profitable, and you can actually do this for a very long time. Because look at it. If you are able to make $1,000 per month, In 10 years' time, you would have made $1 million. Does that make sense, guys? If you are able to make $1,000 per month in profit, in 10 years' time, you would have made $1 million. Now, tell me how many people think about making $1 million even when you're employed. This is where learning and knowing what to do actually does help you a lot. So I know this conversation can be long and long and long and long. So appreciative to everybody that has stand up. Lone Wolf, do you have some parting shots just before we close? Lone Wolf, are you there? Okay, I think I just lost. FX Syndicate, do you have some parting shots? Some key insights maybe you want to leave with beginner traders?
Yeah, sure, bro. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. So in regards to just closing thoughts, I personally think that social media is a very, very good tool, but for some it can be very, very detrimental, right? Like most things, right? Like it depends on really the user, not the tool, in my opinion. So yes, learn from other people and all that, but also be careful that, like I said, it's a very, very unique process, right? So don't be disheartened by other people, maybe being in a different, place in their journey than maybe you are right now, because you don't know what they've been through to get to that point. All you should focus on is just showing up the next day. That's the one thing you have in your control. Tomorrow, if the markets go away, whatever happens, right, you don't have control over that, but the one thing you have control over is showing up every day and showing up to the best of your ability, executing your plan with the utmost discipline, and the rest of it, you just leave it up to your system, let the numbers play out, right?
Fantastic. Thank you very much. The insider, any parting shots?
Okay, still on the discipline aspect of trading, which I'm more focused on. Like, well, people should just stick to their plan. Like FX Indicator said, he just summarized everything. Understand yourself as a trader. Just understand yourself as a trader. Stick to your plan. Sticking to your plan is not easy because because it's like when you lay out a plan, there are people that, oh, it's just money. I just want, even I too, I'm struggling with that. We all have it. It's not like I'm above it. Each and every one of us has that problem. Oh, because of the stress my family is going through and that, I want to forcefully withdraw money from the market. The market will really frustrate you if you're coming with that mindset. It's just like it knows that, oh, you're coming and you really want to withdraw, and it will actually frustrate you. That's how it is. So just try your best. Try your best to sit down, acquire your edge, acquire the knowledge you need to acquire, work on your mind, because that's where the real thing is. Work on your mind. Acquire the right skill. Okay, that's still the same thing as your edge. Acquire the right skill. Do everything in place. When the market is good, you trade. When the market is bad, you step out. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Fantastic. FX Syndicate, I'm sure there's something you wanted to mention
Yeah,
before
yeah,
we
sorry, bro.
leave.
It just came to my mind. And this is something that I feel like especially it applies to newer traders. So like when you do come across someone that like their style, it appeals to you, maybe you feel like there's a lot you can learn from like certain person, and it doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be anyone else, whoever that is for you. Just remember, when you go to them and ask them questions, right, if it's a question that can be easily Googled, I'm going to tell you right now, they're not going to take you seriously, and neither should they, because if you don't have the proactive, nature to look up things that can be easily Googled, like, things that you can find on the first result of a Google search, people aren't going to want to help you, because there's that saying, right? If you ever drive and you see someone stuck on the side of the road with a broken down car, right, if they're not even pushing their own car, are you going to get off and push that car with them? No, right? If you see someone helping themselves, it makes you want to help them even more, because you feel like your time is not going to be wasted, right? So a huge tip that I have for newer traders that might reach out to other people and look for help, that's absolutely wonderful. You should always ask for help if you feel like you're stuck on something, but at the same time, if you're asking them things like what's a kill zone and stuff like that, right? Like they would rather take that very limited time that this person might have and devote it to somebody else that might be asking a little bit more of a thought out question. And it has nothing to do with whether, we think we're better than you or something. It's just about the nature of the person, right? Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, that was my final thought.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think actually that makes a lot of sense. It's like someone saying,
And
"Hey, I."
sorry, I want to
Oh
say
yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
okay, one more thing. One
yeah.
more thing. Have a mentor. Have someone that knows where he's going to. Have someone that knows what he wants. If the person you're following is consistently making losses, I'm not saying that that person is not good, but you really need to like pick a mentor who knows where he's going to. You end up not going anywhere at the end of the day. So that's the thing. And also, I just want to let you all know that I also have a space tomorrow. Like that will be by 9 p.m. Nigerian time. So please, you can also make our time. We're also going to talk about this. And Mr. Ugaman, I would love for you to be around. I would love for you to be around.
Okay, cool. I think maybe there is a bit of a network thing. Okay, yeah, yeah, definitely for the space we will be there. I myself, I'll be there. I saw actually. I think Yusuf shared something about the space. And I remember, I think I retweeted it, but I'll go ahead and also check out your timeline so I share more details. Lone Wolf, any parting shots before we close?
Yes, sorry. So yeah, I was having some network issues, so that was why I was not able to listen to most of you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
But can you guys hear me?
Yeah, the network is breaking. The network is breaking, unfortunately. The network is breaking.
Me now.
Can you hear me? Yes, yes, yes. You're now loud and clear. Please go ahead.
Okay. Okay, you were talking about something about the issue of demo trading, and I just wanted to just touch on that maybe before we just close. And FX Syndicates tackled a whole lot of things that if you are not, maybe if you are just joining, you could maybe listen to the space, maybe the recording of the space, and then you'll be able to understand. So yeah, concerning demo trading and about the seriousness of demo trading. Now, I would say it comes from number one, the kind of understanding that that trader has. Do you understand? Now, a lot of traders, and you know that most of us have traders, we are coming into the market that has an unlimited opportunity for us to do habits that we have been living with for years. Do you understand? And coming into this market with those kind of habits, it will take a kind of transformation of mindset for us to be able to maneuver our way in this space. Do you get? So now it comes from the kind of mindset that that trader has. Because there are a lot of traders that they come into the market with the mindset to just make money. They see Forex as a kind of stuff that they can gamble with, a kind of quick scheme to make money. Do you understand? And now, since they have that thought process and that kind of mindset, it would affect their actions. It will affect the way they do things. Do you understand? Like me, I was a victim of that stuff in the beginning where I went in too early. Like, if you could imagine, like I started trading live just from listening to ICT optimal trade entry videos. Like I was trading live and then it was not working out fine. And I was like, why is this not working out fine? Do you understand? I traded live up to the point that I got wrecked. Like I didn't have any other money and I knew that it's already gone. Like you get, like I just have to just sit down and just thought that is the only thing I just had at that moment. And ICT will say that's the student that is ready to learn. Do you understand? So most of us now as traders, most of the beginning traders come in with that kind of mindset, and that is what influences their actions. And then another second thing that affects them to maybe not take demo trading very much serious is the kind of things they see, the kind of people they move with, the kind of networking they have. Maybe they are seeing those kind of Instagram kind of traders, the kind of traders that flaunt cars, the kind of traders that flaunt watches, the kind of traders that flaunt lifestyle. Do you understand? And they themselves, they don't have that understanding to know that life is all about sowing and reaping. These guys did not just start today. So most of them now put unnecessary pressure on themselves for them to start making money so they can start living those kind of lifestyle. Do you understand? So these are things that can be very much deceptive to a beginning trader, that can make them do some certain kind of things that they would not want to do. That is why it is very much important that most of this community join and are able to get the right mindset of going into the marketplace. Beginner trader can join. And you know, one thing that happens with networking, is that if you relate with people that take demo trading serious, you would take demo trading serious. Definitely take risk management serious. People that have the mindset to know that this market is not a quick scheme to make money market, you would also have that same kind of understanding. Do you understand? So it is very much
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Lone
understanding
Wolf.
and very much
I think
important that we as traders.
the network today is not on your side. The network today is not on your side. It's
Are you serious? You cannot hear me.
no, we can hear you, but it's breaking, and I'm wondering. Like, I've always listened to your spaces, and you're so clear. So I'm just wondering today where you are. Maybe you shifted the positions where you usually do host the spaces from. But yeah, um, thank you very much. I think actually what you guys have shared and discussed is what we have been looking out for a very, very, very long time. Let me tell you this, guys, for all of you that are listening, one of the strongest assets that we need right now as traders, as beginners, as people that are going into this industry, we need cohesiveness. We need teamwork. We need community building. Because let me tell you, never be afraid to let somebody else learn and become better. And also, it doesn't, like, even if we are 1 million Africans, even if we are 1 million people, traders, everywhere that are participating in the market, and we share the insights, the more people participating, the better. These brokers, we put our money there, we trade our money, so we risk equally, just like they risk their money on the platform where we make money from. So do not be afraid that, hey, maybe when I speak out and help people with my strategy, we're going to make a lot of money, or my brokers will think when I make $1 million, they'll come and look for me. Hey, come on, guys. The Forex market has trillions of dollars. So $1 million is insignificant to the whole market. So one thing I have to advise you is, always make sure you follow the right people and pick advice from the right people. And how do you know these are the right people? Just do due diligence. Go to their YouTube channel, look at what they're doing. Go to their socials, look at what they're doing. If they are pompous and all they want to sell you is their course and stuff like that, then you need to have a checkpoint and you're like, hey, all you want is my $100, and then what next? You're not going to help me. You recorded something and you want me to just buy it. So we will be having many, many more spaces of this kind. Tomorrow we're going to attend one for Lone Wolf, and definitely we'll be attending more. Sometimes see Yusuf also having some. So we're going to attend many, many more. So from me to you guys, it's 10 p.m. in Kampala, Uganda, East Africa. From me to you guys, thank you very much for attending. We'll see you again at maybe Lone Wolf's space tomorrow, for those of you that can manage to be there. And tomorrow is the last day of trading for the week. Please be there, do something, learn, and make sure that you keep practicing. I'll see you guys again, and have a fantastic night for those of you that are already in the nighttime, and have a very great afternoon for those that are still enjoying the time. Goodbye. I'll see you guys again on the next space.